What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action. I'm going to be doing some tutorials, some build order shenanigans today. Haven't had a lot of build orders with Fuji. I don't know if I've even got one. I might have one, but this one today, we're going to be looking at more of a timing attack variant for Fuji. It's a very, very strong mid-game power spike timing to hit against fast two-town center players. Also, more specifically, the fast heroic variants of the fast two-town center players. So we're looking at you, Ra two-town center Tar. Now, if we have a quick analysis of what a Ra two-town center Tar fast heroic looks like, most of the time they're looking at an 8:30 to a 9-minute heroic age. So this means with this strategy, we want to be aiming to hit around about 8:30 to 9 minutes. So that's what we're going to go for. We're going for a one town center fast heroic. Let's get into it. Show you how it's done. First things first, going straight onto these giraffe over here and getting ourselves scouting. We're going to be looking for goats, pigs, I guess, on this map. First, next two villages, going to jump over here onto the gold. And we're going to put a villager over onto wood. And we're going to put a villager onto gold. And we're going to put a villager onto wood. You can probably get away with going straight to gold and then straight to wood. But, you know, I find that this is just a little bit nicer on the old macro. So the reason we get the gold first over the wood is because we want to be getting a fairly early garden. We do want to go for 2 gardens and going for a 4:30 advance time here. That's going to allow us to get our upgrades and get a good, healthy amount of favor in order to get a castle down in the heroic age. So now we've got the villagers over onto wood. Next village is going to come over to food. We are looking for another place for these villagers to go. So we do have zebras here. Let's just check how many is here. This is going to be a nice spot for these villagers to move towards. So we're probably going to be sending villagers over onto this location now. So this spot here is going to be for our home villagers. And this spot over here is going to be for everything else. So we get our garden up, we get our house up, we send villagers over here. Completely fine, completely reasonable. Sounds good. Now we're coming over here onto this location here. We're going to be trying to kill that. We'll actually try and kill the gazelle first. So this is a little something you can do is move over here, kill the gazelle, and then chuck your granary down. That's going to mean you get a really well-placed granary. Animation canceling, chuck it down. Good to go. Now we want to get out super early husbandry here as well. You can see this house is going to pop. This villager now. Actually, geez, let's cancel that. I don't want to get super early husbandry. I do want to get husbandry. Maybe not that early. We're going for a temple first. And then we get our second garden. And then we get husbandry. Got to remember my builds, guys. Already forgetting them. It's all good. Scrap the husbandry from your brains. Keep scouting. How many pigs have we found? Good amount of pigs here. This is going to make sense later why these pigs are so important. Now we're going to start sending villagers over onto gold. This guy is going to finish the temple, and we're going to throw down another garden here. We're going to simply just eat the rhinoceros. Oh, try not to stuff this up too much. And we're off to the races. Sounds good. One more villager and we should be able to advance. And we're going to be looking for, essentially we're going to be looking for where the second town center is going to be, because that's where you want to hit. Now this is versus AI, so they're probably not going to go for it. You just have to be aware that you're probably going to be looking to attack their second town center with this. This villager can go to gold, and we want to get a villager onto wood now. And now we can think about getting our husbandry. We're going to advance. A little bit late, but that's just... It doesn't really matter that much. You guys can play cleaner than me, then by all means play cleaner than me. Now, we want to chuck up a house. We can send this goat back. This pig comes back here. These guys are
什么事？
all
准备
good
好了，有
here.
什么吩咐？猎人，有什么吩咐？什么事？
And again, so we've seen this town center. It's a back town center, but we can still be aggressive, put a castle here, have options to attack this town center, attack this town center. So wherever they are to build their second town center, that's where you want to chuck up your castle, nice and close to it. Now you can get out a immortal in the classical age. I'm going to avoid getting that just to show you the full wrath of this build. I don't want to get domestication, but I also want to get myself my
准备
armory.
好了。
Let's
什么
chuck the
事？
armory down.
是的，出发。
We'll get domestication just a touch later.
什么事？
是吗？猎
This
人，
guy's finishing up over here.
准备好了，好的，好的，出发，好的，遵命，出发，遵命，
准备好了。
准备好了，
有什么
No,
吩
no,
咐？
no, no, run, 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 run.
樵夫，遵命，是吗？好的，猎人，
Alright, so now we can get domestication. We'll come on to our pigs.
是的，有什么吩咐？好的。猎人。是的，矿工。
准备好了，
We should be good
准备好
for
了。
our fairly quick heroic age. Looking for a 630 to 645 heroic age is pretty much the goal of this in order to get everything out fast enough. So we should. I think I'm going to go for a 645 here. It just feels like a little bit of mismanagement of the economy. Because I got a little bit too much wood and a little bit too much gold. So probably should have only gone 5 villages on gold instead of the 6. But you know, it's not going to matter that much. And we're going to go through this goal. Let's talk about this quickly. You can go Dabo Gong to get out the earlier units, but I don't think it's necessary. I think this uproot is going to buy you more time than the Imperial Examination buys you. On top of this, the Pixu versus the Jiangxi, I think the Jiangxi's got a little bit more utility, a little bit more survivability with the special ability than the Pixu. And the extra gold you get here, it's not going to matter that much. The upgrades here, Demon Slayer, not that important. Life Drain, not that important. House of the Altars is okay, but not that important. Burials you're never going to use. Landlord Spirits, never worth it. But Unbridled Anger is really good if we need to go into the Halberdiers anyway later. So that's why we're going Jiangxi, but mostly for the Uproot. Sorry, Zongqiu. Sorry about my pronunciation. But we're going Uproot in this strategy here. So these villages we built are going to come over onto the wood line. We're going to get out ourselves pickaxe when we can.
有什么吩咐？
Dump this, get pickaxe, not pickaxe, hand axe. And then we get to about 50%, we're going to be moving our food villages forward now. Which one has less food? This has got 180. This has probably got more food left in it. So we'll hang back here, kind of try and deal with this.
什么事？好的。
All right. Okay, we're about 50% now, so we're going to start moving forward 5 food villages.
好
We're
的。
nice and close to our opponent's base for a proxy castle. Now, once we hit the heroic age, we do really remember to cast our Year of the Goat. This is very important. And essentially, when you see your opponent hit the heroic age, that's when you want to move in and cast Uproot. So there we go. We cast that. We get all of these goats. They're going to be great. This guy's going to put down an immediate castle here. I'm going to put it really close to our opponent. Now, there is a real possibility that your opponent might see this coming. So you might not want to be this aggressive. But in terms of the surprise factor, it's very good to chuck this one down. Also, it's Ra. Ra's not going to have a lot of good scouting out here to see this coming. And even if Ra does see this coming at this point, if they've committed to the 2 town centers, the Ra 2 town center Ptah, they're going to be in a lot of pain. We also need to get pickaxe here. Probably get that one as soon as you click up as well. No point in delaying it. And then these villages here are going to jump onto the gold mine that you've kind of chucked the castle up on. And the first thing we're going to get out of this castle, seems like it's a little bit slow, but we're going to get a general out first. The general plus a couple of the fire lancers here. Oh, we needed to get houses. Okay. Possibly get the houses a bit faster. That's bad. We're not going to actually slow down the military production. That's just villages there that are going to be a bit sad. So no problems here. And now we can move back home. Now, if this guy's gone for a hunt build order, he would be hitting the heroic age round about now. But I think you'll find most people Not going to be doing that here.
是吗？
They will go for a farm, for rains. And we're just sitting back waiting until we have 3 fire lances, and then we're going to cast our call to arms. We're going to cast our uproot, and we would attack this town center. So I'll show you what that looks like.
是的，
As soon as this is coming out, you can see it's 8:30 here, just as this unit is about to pop out. Terracotta Warrior is going to go for a suicide into the opponent's base. It's going to swing around this side. We're looking for the houses of our opponent in the base. If we don't see them, it's always fine to just chuck it straight in the middle here. Get lucky. We kind of missed all the houses because he's put them in the back. The town center would go down here. We can actually chuck up a market now. This is the follow-up.
是的，
Big important follow-up. You're only building from one castle here. And we're going to start putting the pressure on. He would not normally have these units. Let's be real. He would have 0 units. And you've just cut his population down if I actually hit his houses. People,
好的，遵命，什么事？
you do have to scout out a bit better than that. That's a poor play there on my behalf. These generals live for ages with 330 HP.
是的，好的，出发，遵命，遵命，有什么吩咐？什么事？
And you can see just by putting villagers straight over onto food, look at our resources.
什么事？
Look at our resources. We're looking for about an 11-minute
开战，准备就绪。
11-minute mythic age on the back of this as well. All of this pressure we're putting onto our opponent here. In fact, I mean, it's a hard AI, right? But we would have easily killed off any Ra 2 town center, shenanigans here. And then up we go. 11:30 heroic age. Completely fair, completely reasonable. Keep building units. We can actually start thinking about transitioning now into those unbridled anger
什么事？好的，遵命，
halberdiers as well. Very strong.
什么事？
Because our opponent's probably going to be wanting to make some form of camelry to deal with our lancers.
准备就绪。
And then we just,
有什么吩咐？
well, we have to remember we can still come over here onto the berries.
有什么吩咐？好的，
And we can also get this technology here, 5 grains. Absolutely huge, amazing technology.
有什么吩咐？准备就绪，准备就绪。
And I mean, imagine this is the second town center. It goes down so quick to these fire lancers here. And this is absolute destruction. And we can start making these halberdiers now as well. It's going, he's raiding me. It's fine.
准备好了，
The beauty of this strategy is that by the time our opponent hits the heroic age, none of our units are outside our base. So he can't hit any decent locust on us.
是的，
We've got the gold villages split up, so our gold villages are completely safe. Our wood villages are probably the prime target for a locust because everything else is on the town center. And we are so very, very safe here, just about to hit mythic age at 11:30. And this will also then be able to allow us a big push through the main base of our opponent, who's going to be turtling at this point. And I mean, Great Flood is such a bonkers god power here. You can basically do whatever you want with it, but you can see we're basically full population, 1130 mythic age. Completely, we definitely would have killed one town center with this if the other players caught off guard. But then the final middle town center goes down, and then what does the Ra player do?
准备好了，准备好了，遵命。
Now, obviously, like I said, this is more of a timing attack build. This is more of a surprise attack thing. It's in the same kind of vein as a scarab rush, in that it probably not the best strategy in the world to go for the
什么事？出发。
for the Chinese. You can definitely do some stronger strategies, but this one's a lot of fun, and you're going to get a lot of Ra players raging at you for doing this strategy. So definitely recommend giving it a go. Gonna hit yes, and let me know in the comment section below if you guys try this build out and want to and have some success with it. Essentially, we've got a semi-fast mythic with a timing push to kill off one of their town centers and a second timing to follow up with the Great Flood. And
准备好了，
So long as they don't get off any decent locusts, which they shouldn't, given you've got a castle on your second gold mine. You've got these villagers over here that just finish up on the gold at about 12 minutes. So that's completely fine. Your villagers move back in onto the pigs you gathered, plus the year of the goat goes down and you start eating that. You get, how many of these? You get 8 goats there at 100 food each. By the time you're onto them, they're probably more closer to 200. You get domestication, which allows us to eat these berries super quickly. Domestication to eat the pigs super quickly. The villagers over here on the wood completely safe as well from anything. You can get out an immortal as well in this build. It might slow you down a touch, but this is one of the, okay, so if you look at this and you say, man, this strat's really strong, man, Fuji's really strong, you'd be right. And the fact of the matter is you can do strats like this with Fuji and have a lot of success. So stay tuned over the next couple of weeks. Going to be putting out a couple more of these more crazy build orders that are a lot of fun to just completely wipe out the 2-town setter meta that has been developing over the past, I don't know how long. There's a lot of really fun things to do. You don't have to sit back and boom all day. If you guys enjoyed the game, definitely leave a like, comment, and hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.